Hi everybody, welcome back. You thought that this was the end? It's not. ¿Pensaste que era el final del reto? Pues no. Tenía este as bajo la manga, un día más, bonus para que disfrutes y puedas ver todo más en contexto, que a mí me encanta porque lo vas a poder escuchar como podcast y si lo repetís, si lo escuchás más de una vez, repetición, que es en contexto, ahí sí sirve. Ahora, cuando hablamos de repetir como loros una palabra, o una oración, o una frase sin sentido, ahí es cuando no sirve. Entonces, en este día número 6 bonus te tengo un challenge que es encontrar los 10 phrasal verbs, 10 o quizá hay dos más, o sea, los 10 que vimos en el reto y dos bonus. Es una mini historia, fíjate que hace referencia. So let's see if you can spot the 12 phrasal verbs you've learned this week. Last week, I kicked off a new project I had in my mind. It took a little bit of courage or actually just getting everything ready. So I sat down and set up everything I needed for it. I set up all my notes, the CapCut tools, the video ideas, the Canva covers, all of it. And when I felt a little bit unsure about whether it was going to work or not, I reminded myself that it doesn't have to be perfect. Just like I say to you, you don't have to be perfect to speak English. You don't have to speak it perfectly well in order to be able to communicate. So I said to myself, just carry it out. Carry it out. There's a phrase I absolutely love that is better done than perfect. At some point, I brought up the idea of adding a bonus day because that's just how I am. I love giving. And I became a huge fan of my project, so I want everyone to see it. And I wanted something different, something that could be a little bit more playful. I wanted you to get these phrasal verbs in context, as I said before, because I want you to be able to just not just watch the videos, but to get them as if they were podcasts. I want you to be able to listen to these videos and get the input that you need. And I don't want you to be frustrated because you don't understand all of the words I'm saying. In fact, I'm trying to speak slowly so that you get the point of it, okay? But I don't want to speak too slowly so that you feel like, okay, what is she saying? So we need to find a balance. And then a friend pointed out how helpful it would be for me to wrap everything up with a story. And do you know who that friend was? It was my brain. So I kept going and I went over all those phrasal verbs that I thought that could be really helpful and useful for you. The ones that you would need in real life, that you would say, okay, I'm able to use this phrasal verb now. Or even I understand it a little bit better. I filmed, edited, filmed again, edited again, and in between I caught up with some of your amazing messages. I also followed up with students who had some questions. I love when you have these questions and I'm able to clear up your doubts. And let me tell you that it was amazing because of your vibe. I really like when we get to get along and grow together. To my mind, there's nothing more important than my students' vibe. And even if you are not like officially my student, maybe you have been my student before and you are my student now, or maybe you just met me. But even if you are not my student, that's what I mean, you rock. And finally, it was time to wrap up the last video. But before I hit the button schedule the video on YouTube, I looped in a friend so that friend could check the video first. Again, you guessed it was my brain. She loved it and just said, if you ever need or want to circle back to this kind of project again, just do it. What do you think? Was my friend saying the truth? Should I do this again? I certainly will because I love what I do. As I said before, I'm passionate about what I do, but anyway, let me know what do you want for the next challenge? It would be really helpful for me. And this is not over for some of you because I have to tell you what's the final surprise for those of you who have been participating all along. And if you feel that you learned with me with this challenge and you liked this idea of learning English through consciousness with this completely different method, just stay tuned. Because learning English is more than just memorizing words or grammar rules. It's about connection. So loop others in, get over what you need, and don't be afraid to circle back when things are not so clear. Let's keep growing together. Okay, so how many phrasal verbs did you spot? Was there any new expression for you? Should I do this again, as my brain suggested? I'd love to see your comments, so share them down below. And once again, if you like this idea of learning English through consciousness, using a different method, I'll be waiting for you.